Celebrating and showcasing extraordinary people who are doing incredible things to make our world a better place. This is Close-Up Television. I'm your host, Jim Masters, and thanks for joining us. On today's episode, we celebrate Beth Wolfe. Beth is a top-notch master life coach, third-generation entrepreneur, master idea generator, master solutions creator, and founder and owner of BW Global Solutions, LLC. Beth believes that through self-love, we become our own luminous work of art and distinct masterpiece that ignites positive, sustainable change. Through a lifetime of nurturing and experimenting as we navigate our journey, that's the greatest advantage we can give ourselves and the universe. Growth happens when we expand our horizons and unleash our potential, and we speak our truth in all aspects of our lives. Now, through her coaching work, Beth helps us dig deep to explore and elevate self-expression. This is accomplished in her unique 7 different dimensions of wellness, health, life, and business. To learn more about Beth's amazing work and about the 7 different dimensions and much more, she joins me in the Close-Up Television studio today for this exclusive interview. Beth, welcome to Close-Up Television. We've done the radio shows together, which has been fantastic, but we wanted you to come to our television studio here on the East Coast so we can dig deeper and explore more. Welcome.
Thank you so much. It's great to be part of Close-Up TV.
How was your flight east?
It was nice and easy. It was a red eye, but we came into Hartford, no problem. Beautiful, beautiful state. My goodness, it's gorgeous here.
Yeah, New England in the fall is nice, huh?
Yeah, yeah.
Do you get here often? Do you get to the East Coast?
No, this is actually my first time on the East Coast. I've traveled, many places throughout the world, but this has been on my bucket list to come, and I intend on coming back.
But you have clients here too, right? That are here
Yes,
all over the country.
Yeah, there's a few all over the country. It's starting to grow, but mostly I'm in Pacific Northwest. But
which is beautiful too.
It is. We got mountains. We got the Puget Sound. It's a place I grew up. I love it there. You look everywhere, and it's just gorgeous there. I love it.
Now, when we were talking about on the radio show, we covered a lot of great ground, and I'd like to dig a little deeper, as I was saying, about the work. You're so passionate and enthusiastic about what you do, and you totally are 110% in, and you love what you do. And I sensed that when we did the radio shows. What first inspired you to want to go into the work? When did you realize that this was work that not only you wanted to do, but you had to? It's in your DNA to do this work.
Yeah, I love the way you said that I had to, because part of it really, when we have that kind of passion, it's coming from something that wants to really rise up within ourselves. And so feeling like I had to do it, it was really something first I had to do for myself. I had turned down my own greatness, my own expression in my life, and I'm like, hey, if this is going on with me, I bet it's going on with a lot of other people. And it was just in my heart to help myself first so that then I could really serve other people that were basically living a life that really wasn't theirs.
Yeah.
They were, how often with society pushes in on us and we want to fit
Labels
in.
us, tells us how we should live, what we should do, what we should think, what we should wear, what we should eat.
Exactly, exactly. And so I was like, if I can find that for myself, if I can do that for myself, then I could create a path for people to follow. And so that's really the container in the space that I love to give to people is, let's go find that greatness in you and let's put it out into the world to really express it. And so that's what I get to do. So
tell us when you realized that you wanted to create BW Global Solutions, LLC. What was your vision? What was your mission when you wanted to create the company?
About 2016, I had just completed a 25-year marriage and had an opportunity to really start my life in a whole new chapter. And I'd been in sports medicine for over 40 years and nutrition and health, and I love to inspire people. But it was really a point where I was like, I can be and do anything. What would it be? And it was wanting to really be part of inspiring people from kind of a unique educational aspect, not a traditional way. And so that's Beth Wolfe Global Solutions, the global. I intend to be global, and I love to create solutions for people that have problems.
How do you describe the kind of coaching, the kind of work that you do? How do you define it?
I like to define it more like a discovering, where you use a lot of questions, a lot of open-ended questions, a lot of evocative coaching, where I love to be futuristic, like what if it could be this, what if it could be that, and really help people kind of take down their existing thinking that and their feelings that really aren't serving them, their patterns, their habits, and they served them for a time, which I think is really important to say to clients is, you know, it's not that they didn't serve you in the beginning, but now they're not, because you're having some kind of longing and discontent that you want to grow and experience more. So,
the clients that you deal with, do they come from all different backgrounds, all different ages? What are some of the things that they're dealing with in their lives? And, you know, the pandemic that we've been going through has just totally added a whole new dimension to things that we're dealing with in our lives, from our jobs to our family to relationships, people, you know, pausing and what do I want to do with the rest of my life going forward after having survived all of this? What are some of the things you hear people talking about and struggling with and concerned with?
Yeah, probably one of the most struggles that I experience is like a sense of low deserving. Like they don't quite believe that they deserve more.
So low self-worth.
Yeah, low self-worth is a big, big thing. Like if you really can't outperform your own self-image, and it's not about being selfish as much it is as you expand your own self-worth and self-believing, then you can actually give more to the community around you and your business, your employees. And for example, one of my long-standing clients is a general contractor, and he wanted to grow his business. It was small, and it's a family business, and his intention was to help his family, that he could employ more people by making his business larger. And some of the things that he talks about is, you know, there was a little person on my shoulder, but I wanted to be this more expansive man and in business. And so I really helped him increase his self-image, his self-worth, and help organize his business. So that's one. And then as far as COVID, I've actually had one lady in her 40s, her husband died of COVID unexpectedly. It was very, very quick. And
took a turn for the worse.
Oh, yeah. And very, you know, somewhat healthy man, and then all of a sudden he's gone. And the life that she knew was gone.
Was gone as well.
Yeah. You know, they're in your 40s, you're expecting another 40, 50 years together.
At least, yeah.
Yeah. And so I got a phone call from her one day and said, I need help. I don't even know what I want to do. And so helped launch her into a new career. But first, walking through the grieving process with her and just allowing her to feel where she was at is where we started. And we started to build from there.
That's a beautiful story. You know, there is the 7 dimensions. I mentioned that in the introduction, involving a lot of different things, health and wellness and business and life. Tell us about the 7 dimensions that you have designed.
Yeah, I teach a college class at a local community college and learned of those dimensions from personal wellness. And I've created a matrix where we start with exploring, elevating, and expanding in these dimensions. And so it's physical. And then it's spiritual, whether whatever the spirituality that you want to practice, and then the social relationship part of it, emotional, intellectual, occupational, and then environmental. Not only our inside environment, but also our outside environment. So to have a life in full expression, I like to help people in all those dimensions. So that comes in my coaching, and with my great background in athletic medicine and nutrition, I can really help people in a lot of those dimensions with that.
When you're working with them for the first time, is there an assessment done? What are the first sessions like, and the first meeting moments like? I know one of the key things in work like this is developing trust between you and the client and the client and you. Because once there's trust, they're going to be open and probably share things with you that they've never even shared with their closest loved ones, colleagues, and friends. So what are those first moments like in the beginning when you're working with a client?
Yeah. Mostly I take an assessment of what's not going well, all their conditions and circumstances and situations, what's your discontent that's going on, what's your longings, And how long have they been going on?
Yeah.
And what is it costing you?
Right.
Is really where I start. I start where they are. And then I begin to ask them if you could live a life that is really ignited, a life that's in full expression, that is kind of a 10 out of 10 in some areas. You know, we can go back and forth with some of them. What would that look like? And I dive in deep into each one of those dimensions. And a great place for us to start is always look at their core values. So we do some assessment with core values. You know, what do you value physically? What do you value in your career, your occupation? What do you value in your social life, in your spiritual life? So those are some examples of how I start them off with.
How has your own experience and the things that you've dealt with in your life enhanced your ability to relate to your clients and some of the things that they go through in their lives?
Relatability is a big thing.
Huge. It's
huge.
Yeah.
You know, you don't want to be this life health coach that isn't relatable. Like,
just dictating,
Yeah.
follow this plan and that's it, and see you later.
exactly. Like,
Right.
here's a protocol, and here, do it this way. And you know, I'd like to go back that one of the ways I became more relatable first in sports medicine was when I tore my own ACL and MCL when I was skiing.
That'll do it.
Yeah, super fast, came down, tore everything up, and it changed me as a practitioner to my clients and
How? In
patients.
what way?
So much more compassionate. Oh my gosh,
Yeah.
so much more empathy, so much more patience. Really, really shifted me. So,
Had you been more of a fast-paced
oh yeah,
type person
oh
before?
very much so. Yeah, I did triathlons. I was
Yeah.
super athletic, and,
Right.
and I was like, you
Challenging
know,
yourself constantly.
yes, you know, so asking the patients to step up in that manner
Right.
when that wasn't their gig, it was my
Some
gig.
of them can, and some have their own sort of time movements. You know, they have different ways that they do it.
Yeah, yeah, it really brought out an amazing amount of compassion. So coaching, life coaching, when you complete a 25-year marriage, that's pretty impactful and painful. And then going through just the pain of my own daughters not talking to me for a couple of years and coming back. And so that just, all of those life experiences really helps me to serve my clients because I know what's going through their own heart and mind and head. And a lot of times I'll bring on a client and I'll hear what their discontent is, and I'm like, I wonder if I'm up-leveling in that too. You know, you kind of
You
attract.
learned from even the clients, right?
Yes.
Isn't that amazing?
And
do you have a coach too? I mean,
Yes.
you've always heard,
Yep.
which sometimes surprises people, that the coaches have coaches.
Oh yeah, I'm always in a program. I not only am a program right now and have a mentor, but I have mastermind mentors that I meet with weekly, all the time. Yeah.
Wow, that's
Yeah.
fantastic.
You always need somebody outside your own frame to help you.
You really do. You absolutely do. Let's talk about the various services that you provide, because there's a variety of different things that you offer your clients.
Yeah, I do. Start off kind of at a base level where they can do online, on-demand courses. I have a fun one that's called Transform Your Stress to Bliss.
That's a good one.
Yeah, it's a good one. It's a good one. And I have another one that is all about go for your goals from your soul. So a lot of times we'll go for our goals, again, from those outside in rather than the inside
What
out.
everybody's telling us we're supposed to be doing.
So those are, you know, 5-week modules, low investment that they can go in and take on at their own pace, and then they can get to know and like me a little bit, and then from there I can up-level it into some more comprehensive courses like Dream Builder, where we work on, you know, maybe 6 months to 12 months, where we really learn to blueprint, bridge, and build their dreams. And we look at, another one I love is our superpowers, our mental faculties, where I really teach people how to use their imaginations and their intuition and their memory, and it's really fun to teach people how to do that. So Into Your Genius is another course that I have, and I have another one that works with 11 principles of success, and we learn more about the laws of the universe. It's kind of like, you know, more we learn how our universe works and the laws and the quantum physics of it. I love that.
What are some of those principles of success, the 11?
Yeah, some of those are like just starting off with the law of thinking. What we're thinking is and feeling is really going to have an impact not only on our outside world, but our inside body.
Right.
Like Bruce Lipton that talks about, the biology of belief.
Right.
That whole book is about what we're thinking and feeling is going to affect the cells in our body. And another great principle I love is being the law of increase. That whenever you're with someone, that you're bringing some kind of increase to them and that they leave feeling better off by being in your presence. And so there's a couple.
That's fantastic, huh?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
It's cool stuff. So do you do retreats at all too? Have you done any retreats? Have people gone on retreats? Is that something that you've thought about?
Not yet, but I am certainly open to that. I love to do speaking on a regular basis.
Yeah,
I've done
speaking engagements and keynotes and things of that nature.
Yeah, definitely. Moving more into those every day. Yeah.
How has what we've gone through the last couple of years changed anything that you're doing in terms of your work? And again, what people are coming to you for now? I mean, we've had the Great Resignation. We've had, where people are sort of taking a look at their lives and saying, this is what I've been doing. I've been serving the corporation or serving this, but have I been really helping myself and satisfying and fulfilling my life and what really matters to me? And a lot of people have been reassessing that. Have you found that to be the case? They've been reassessing relationships, marriages, friendships, everything in the last couple of years.
Yeah, most definitely. It's been interesting with a few clients. They come in with this altruistic perspective where you want to always be giving before you're receiving, and telling them, really, this COVID thing is gone. Am I really taking good care of myself? Am I?
As you're taking care of everybody else.
Yeah.
Right.
Am I really taking care of myself? Because if I'm not taking care of myself, then I'm not going to be around for my loved ones. And my one client that, her husband dying so unexpectedly, even rose up within her that, am I taking good care of myself? So I think through COVID, there's been an assessment that, what if I am being willing to really invest in myself a lot more? So with life coaching, I've noticed that people are like, hey, I'm going to start investing in myself.
In myself, right.
Yeah, and not so much investing into, if they're an employee, into the employer as much. And if they're working for a corporation, not so much that corporation, but really taking good care of themselves. And having a more harmonious life, rather than it's all work and very little play.
Exactly right.
Because you may not wake up tomorrow morning.
Tomorrow is not guaranteed.
No.
There's no guarantees or warranties.
No.
Exactly. You've created something called Platinum Life University. That sounds fascinating. What is that about?
Yeah, that's a dream in progress that I would really love to create a space and a container for people to come with real wisdom for real people. So we have a lot of people out in the world that are doing amazing things, and it's my intention to create a platform that people can come with their own wisdom and then share it with others. And I'm the first one doing that, and on Platinum Life University is some of those courses that I just mentioned, as far as transform your stress to bliss and go for your goals from your soul. And my intention is that I will bring on more people. I like to call them adjunct alchemists instead of adjunct professors or faculty. They have their own alchemy and artistry and adventures going on in their life. So let's bring that wisdom into Platinum Life University and have them share it with other people. And a great collaboration is really what I would love Platinum Life University to be. Collaboration
is so important to have to be successful, for everybody to get something from it.
Yeah.
You mentioned transforming stress. What are 4 key ways to transform from stress?
Yeah, stress is really, just even defining it first here, that typically in our minds we think all stress is bad.
Right, exactly, right.
But that's not necessarily true. It's actually a demand that is put on our body. And sometimes with that, it can be called eustress versus distress.
Right.
And eustress actually creates a good challenge that helps us grow. And so that's really one big key element, is that what we think stress is all being bad, that it really isn't. And that actually that good kind of stress can actually bring an amazing amount of exploring and elevating and expanding. So it's a really fun course to really transform your thinking as well about stress and how you can utilize it to really help yourself rather than think it's all bad.
What are a few things that stress you out?
Could I say,
work on?
Yeah. Well, I was saying like an hour ago, I'm like, I might be a little stressed about being on TV.
You're sailing along.
I'm sailing along.
You're thinking about the keys to deal with it.
Yeah, exactly. I think some of the things that stress me out is maybe when I put too much on my plate at once. Overwhelm.
Or other people put a lot on your plate too and expect. Right?
Yeah. Too much on my plate. I can tend to do that.
Have you always been a yes, I'll take care of it, yes, I'll get it done, yes, don't worry about it, yes, I'll, and didn't have boundaries, and I've had to learn to create boundaries. Me too.
Yeah, ditto.
I've learned how to, I created boundaries after driving alone through Death Valley.
Oh, tell me about that.
That was a very transformative experience. Yeah, it really was on many different levels, because you're alone. You know, I was in a rental car and all alone, and it was after a TV shoot, and everybody went away, and I still had some time left, and nobody knew I was doing it, and nobody on the planet knew I was going to drive alone in a rental car through Death Valley. Usually tell people.
Right.
Usually have preparations, water, cell phones charged, food, maybe a car that you know something about other than a rental car, other than just knowing the make and model. And it was fantastic. It was really liberating and just really getting in touch with yourself and a couple of different energies, the earth, the divine, and Mother Nature were very dominant during that alone travel into Death Valley. Yeah. And it got me to realize that you do have to set boundaries, that there will be times that experiences like that will come your way. And I always like to share. I'm communal, so I like to share. And there was no way to share that with anybody. No. And there was guilt in the beginning that I wasn't sharing this beautiful experience of Death Valley with loved ones and family and friends. It was immediately self, I put it on myself. Something that nobody else, the world didn't put it on me, I put it on myself to feel guilty that I wasn't presenting that. I'm a host. I like to be the presenter. I like to be the creator of the good feelings and the good vibes and the joy for others. And there was no way to do that because I was in this car and this was what I was seeing, I was getting. So like maybe I should turn the car back to the hotel and come back one day. And then somehow something said to me, you may never come back here. This might be the one shot. How do you know you're going to come back here with family and friends one day? You don't know that. So you can either keep going or turn back. So I decided to keep going and drove all the way through, all the way back. It was really fascinating. And discovered three major things that were very important and crucial that were solidified or reemphasized. The world's going to continue to spin on its axis, whether I continue to rescue it from itself all the time. When you're on a plane, you do have to put the oxygen mask on you first. Before trying to help the person next to you that might be struggling a little bit, because they have to put it on themselves first. I used to cringe on planes when I would hear the flight attendant say that. All right, now when it drops, put it on you first before you help the other person. I was raised the opposite. Help thy neighbor. Love, help thy fellow man type thing. Do what you can for others first, and then, serve them the pie first on your birthday. Yes. And then you get your slice. Yes. Because I'm still like that. My birthday's a Saturday, and it's kind of like there'll be cake and all, and they'll want you to slice it. It's your birthday. You slice it first. I'm like, no. Take what you want, and then I'll take the piece left. And now I realize it's your day. You have it. It's nothing greedy or self-serving. So I used to think it was self-serving when you would take the mask and grab it and put it on you first when there's somebody there that could use some assistance. So, but I realized the importance of that, and that you have to create boundaries, that you do definitely have to create boundaries. So the boundaries, the mask, the oxygen mask, that the world is going to continue spinning whether you save it all the time. And those are, really key pivotal things, and that there will be times when there'll be experiences that are meant just for you, that don't always have to be shared. You don't always have to have the communal. You don't always have to be the one facilitating it for everybody else's joy.
Yeah.
If you're driving in the car, which happens all the time for some reason on the Massachusetts Turnpike, where I'm in the car with others and I see the meteor shower. Did you see that? Did you see that? Sleeping, looking the other way, other people in the car.
Yeah.
See what? Didn't you see that? No, we didn't, Jim.
Missed it.
Constantly happens, and I'm the only one seeing it. So I realized there's times where I could never have called people quick enough to get on planes to get to Death Valley to experience that with me. So it was a self experience, getting in touch with self.
Yeah.
So that was, for me, I'm an ocean person. We're here on the East Coast. I love the ocean. The ocean feeds me.
Yeah.
Swim, surf, boogie board, sail it, walk it.
Yeah.
Love the rhythm and tide and flow and constant nature of it. So the ocean's huge for me. And that would never have happened at the ocean like that. It would never have happened in a big city with skylines and action and restaurants and all kinds of fun activities. It wouldn't have happened in a beautiful forest. Those are things that I'm familiar with. The desert in Death Valley, with its risk and heat, and it was in August.
Oh, nice choice.
Yeah, not
nice
August in
choice.
Nevada.
Yeah.
And it wasn't a choice that I made. I think it chose me because it was after a TV shoot. We weren't visiting Death Valley. We were doing
You were there.
television shoot with somebody else, and that wrapped, and I still had the rental car. We were in Pahrump, Nevada, at the entrance to Death Valley.
Oh my goodness.
And the car kept taking me to the entrance for some strange reason. And then I just went in.
Wow.
It was cool. Have you had experiences like that? Do you have a Death Valley experience?
I do. I just learned from Dr. Sue Morter. Speaking of a mentor of mine that wrote the energy codes, I just learned from her recently that the desert is really a representation of cleansing. That when you go into the desert, you're in a space of cleansing. And it was just really interesting hearing
I felt
you
raw
talk.
earth. It was stripped. I mean, there's no lushness to it. It was dirt of the earth, so you did feel like you're on a planet. So I did feel like I'm on a planet.
Yeah.
So I felt the energy and pull of the earth. I felt the energy and pull of Mother Nature around me, and a divine of some sort that was sort of like guiding, not necessarily right there in your face, just guiding, saying, look, Mother Nature, the earth, divine, we could wipe you out in 3 seconds if we want to. But do you trust in us enough and in yourself to keep driving alone through Death Valley?
Yeah.
This is a big test for you. Keep doing it. Because normally, if I'm going to do something like going in a rental car in Death Valley, there'd be plans made. Let's plan it out. Let's see what's ahead. What are we going to? Let's call people. Let people know. Let's have provisions and supplies. Let's map it out.
Yeah, exactly.
This was all totally ad hoc. Had no plan to do it. And went in that August, straight in.
Wow. How long ago was that?
About just before, like everything, that's the new phrase, before COVID.
Just before
BC
COVID.
used to be before Christ, now it's before COVID. That's what I say.
That's
so
good.
It was BC. It was like 2018, 19.
Wow.
Yeah,
Wow.
summer.
I feel like I was doing similar work at that time, and yet it was in Tulum, Mexico. As I spoke earlier, my daughters took a break in speaking with me after the marriage had been completed, and I stepped into letting that be for me rather than something that happened to me. And so, speaking of retreats and taking care of myself and saying no to giving to everybody around, it was time to really give to Beth for the first time, of being a wife and a mother and being in the service industry of sports medicine. You're always giving.
Helping others
and
heal and overcome and deal with.
Yeah, but not Beth.
Right.
So I took myself to Tulum.
Deal with Beth later.
Yeah, we'll just put her over there. Yeah. So the pain had gotten, the emotional pain and just the discontent had gotten so bad in me. I was like, I better go take care of myself. And
did people let you do that? Because sometimes when people don't expect you to do that, they don't expect Beth to take time for Beth. Who does Beth think she is? No, we need the help. So it's like you don't get slack from people to be able to spend some time for you. Like for me, some of the boundaries were, I've said, if the person over there has a fire, I will grab a bucket and run over and help them put the fire out. But if I have a fire that's mine right next to me right here, that's smoldering, I need to take care of it. I need to put the water, what's mine right now first, and then I'll get some water and I'll be right over to you. I'll be over there, don't worry. But I'm going to put my fire out first. It would be where I would help them with their blaze, and then mine, which now might be like this, would come next. Not anymore. But not everybody likes that either.
No. In fact,
few people fell off the planet.
They do.
You
they
were
fall away.
saving them and lifting them constantly. And they're not used to you saying, actually, I can't really do that right now. When you always said yes. Sure, don't worry about it. I'll be there. I'll find a way. And now I actually can't, or I actually don't want to.
Right.
Or I appreciate it, but I'm just not interested in that right now. And when they're not used to a Beth or a Jim doing that, sometimes they don't cut the slack to allow you to do that.
Well said, and I'm so glad you brought that up. I like to look at it, well done, well done.
Been there, done that?
Oh, yeah. I mean, a relationship ended, even though I completed my marriage and then I entered into another relationship.
I like the way you say I completed it.
Yeah.
Like it's part of life.
Yes.
It was a part of life.
Yeah.
As opposed to ended, completed.
I got that from one of my mentors.
Completed,
so she taught
First
me,
time I've ever heard it described that way.
Yeah, she taught me that. That was Mary Morrissey. She taught me that.
Chapter of life.
Yep, you completed it. And it helps you with your mindset, too. Because, and again, about your self-image and your self-worth, that you're saying that you completed something. It's not something that didn't work out or ended or, you feel bad about.
Dwell on loss.
Exactly. So it's a good shift in perspective, and then it actually helps you move on to your next chapter of your life. And so,
Which you did by going to Mexico?
Yeah, that was one of them. Again, it really served me that I had you had that time alone in the desert, and now I was taking alone time. No kids, no partner whatsoever. And even in the relationship that I was in at that time, even that person was noticing that, hey, wait a minute, you're taking all this time for yourself and you're not doing as much as you used to around here. And I thought that used to really fulfill you, that you love to do all those jobs around the house and do this and this. And I'm like, I don't want to anymore. They're not filling me.
The grass is getting a little high, Beth.
Oof, yeah, exactly. How did you know that was said to me? Oh my goodness. So I was like,
I'm intuitive.
Yeah, I'm like, you can pay somebody to do that. And but I had an extraordinary experience in Tulum. I don't know if you've ever gone into a sweat lodge.
No, I haven't, but I've heard that and the ice baths are popular. You go into the ice cubes and it just totally shakes you up a little.
So I did a Temazcal, about a 3-hour sweat lodge in Tulum with a shaman, and
there was one time I was actually in a sweat lodge.
Was you?
But that's when I was in a very long line at the DMV. Different kind of sweat lodge.
Yeah, that's a different one. This one was a little different.
Calming.
Yeah.
Much more calming.
Yeah, exactly. Well, it was. I got to face a lot of my fears.
Yeah.
I went in there, and here we are just picture being on the coast of the Caribbean, and you're going in this concrete, kind of igloo shaped. And at the time, I was a little bit claustrophobic, and I first went in there.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh no, Beth, you can do this.
Right.
You can do this.
It's a challenge. Like the Death Valley alone.
Yeah, you can do this. You got it. And then I was like, no, you don't got it. And I came back out.
You came out of it.
I did. I came back out, and I stood out.
Is it that it's hot and you can't catch your breath?
It was just I felt closed in.
It was humid.
Yeah, it was pretty small at the time. Yeah, just being claustrophobic with that.
Yeah. It brought that out.
Yeah.
Were you able to go back in?
I was. I did a little Superman pose looking at the Caribbean.
Yes.
Got a little,
look out to the horizon.
Yeah, and the shaman looked at me and he said, you know, there's nothing to fear but fear itself.
You're
In a
just creating
nutshell.
it for yourself.
Yeah,
right?
I was just creating it for myself. And I had come from a lot of fear in my life of not being enough and not measuring up.
You can't do that, don't try it, you'll never be able to.
Yeah, which is the reason why I was saying yes to everything and not having boundaries.
Right.
So by going in there, I was facing that fear, but also discovering myself. And I came out a different person after 3 hours.
Which is great.
Yes, it was really an extraordinary
In what way?
experience.
Feel taller?
Oh, totally taller. No, I was definitely smaller because of all the sweating that had gone in there. Yeah, but I really came out just shutting off all of the expectations and like really coming out with a self-love. Like, I really do love you, Beth. I really do like you.
Yeah.
You really are amazing.
Right.
And then I kept discovering that. And that's probably why I love life coaching so much. Is everybody's dealing with that as well.
They are.
They all are. They're all going into their own fear of not being enough. And I know what that feels like. And so I love to really help people. But again, what we're both talking about, I had to help myself first and continue to help myself first.
The oxygen mask, right?
Yeah,
first,
definitely.
before you help the other person, right?
Yeah, exactly.
And at first, that's not so easy to just do, right? You're not used to like.
It was uncomfortable.
What are you talking about? Yeah, I still 10% of me still does cringe in the seat when I hear them say on the airline, "Put it on you first."
Yeah.
You know, it used to be like 90% cringe. Like, come on, that's selfish. Grab it and put it on you first.
I can get it on there for you and I would be going, we can get it on there to that person first and then ourselves. I know we could do it.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
And then we'll be fumbling with it and that person next to us won't help us. But I just helped you. What are you talking about?
Yeah.
There's two other things, well, several other things, but one of the other things that's very important is harmonizing and balancing. And now, I'm somebody who, I'm a Libra. We're in our time right now. Libras are no sign of the scale. So it's like balance. We try to achieve balance and harmony. Really like when things are balanced, fair, just, equal, and harmonized. There's a harmony to it all. And I'll say that, and I'll say, I don't know why I was ever born on Earth, because this place is the furthest thing from balanced and harmonized. I should have been born on Venus, the planet of love.
Yes.
But then people will say, no, we need people like you because you help us harmonize and balance. Tell us about that, because when people think of harmony and balance, sometimes they think of them as the same exact thing, but there are differences, right?
That's what I'm coming from as far as, you know, a Platinum Life University and Beth and Life in Full Expression is coming from a little bit of an athletic background. When you're in balance and just imagining someone on a balance beam, there is a lot of focus and there is a lot of energy in that athletic endeavor, whatever it is, and you need that balance at that time. But we wouldn't have the expectation for that gymnast to be in that high level of balance 24/7, 365 days a year.
No.
We wouldn't.
No.
But yet we keep hearing this mantra to us to have this, you know, work and life balance. And that's where I like the word harmony. And we go to music and there's melodies and there's different, you know, crescendos and there's different tempos. And so with all of those dimensions of life in full expression, why not harmonize them? That some of them are going to be a little bit more playing up at times, and then some will be down below, but not to be feel guilty that they're not all 10 out of 10 all the time and being balanced at this level, or even having the picture where we're balancing spinning plates all the time.
No, I'm sure even Queen Elizabeth had her moments.
Exactly, exactly.
Even though she always looked so balanced and even keel, I'm sure there were times she had her moments.
Yeah, and human. Allow ourselves to be, another mentor mentioned to me, allow ourselves to be in a grace of wave. What if we allow ourselves to be in that grace of wave and harmony and not be so hard on ourselves and allow ourselves to have some sharps and flats in life.
Exactly,
and,
right.
Yeah.
So it makes it unique, right, and authentic.
Exactly.
That's another thing, too, that's big with you, is living authentically, living your real self. Tell us why that's so important, because, you know, so many people live with these actors' masks on and facades, and they have different ones based on all the different people they deal with during the course of the day and the scenarios they're in. One is for home, one is for work, one's for friends, one's for this, the neighbors. And it's like, who is the person? Who's the real person?
Right.
It's important to be authentic, right?
I definitely. You're going to be happier. You're going to be more content.
Yeah.
You're going to be more, it's going to feel more fulfilling. And then one of my core values is fun.
Yeah.
Is that if we're being our authentic selves, we're going to have fun in life. And that's, I just learned recently, too, that we have, our sun sign, we have our rising sign, we have our moon sign. So, our sun sign, Capricorn, is kind of the persona that we're putting out there to people. But when you look at the rising sign, which is more of our soul, the Aries, that's our deeper self. And what if we could
Mine's Virgo.
Yeah.
The rising.
Is it?
Libra is the sign, and then Virgo is the rising.
Yeah. So what if we could...
Which is like now happening.
Exactly.
Virgo into Libra.
What if we could allow people to see more of our rising sign and the true self, and just think of the collaboration this world could have.
Yeah, right?
I mean, seriously, let's just take the mask off, and I let my clients see the real me.
Yeah.
And what I'm struggling with, and it really, really helps.
Right, exactly. That's the relatability.
It is, yeah, totally. I just had a client calling me this week that the marriage is falling apart, and it's not going well. Yeah. And literally, I'm helping this woman keep that oxygen on yourself. Put that mask on first. It's really about you taking great care of yourself at this moment in time. And it's really important we be authentic.
I wrote this down. I thought this was kind of cool. You say, learn how to explore, elevate, and expand your life artistry, alchemy, and adventure. Tell us about that.
I know.
That's cool.
There's so many things that download to me in threes. I think 3 is my life path. So I get these 3s that come in and explore. I'm actually doing that right now here with you, being on TV and radio.
Very first time,
right? Yeah, here we are having a great time. And elevating by being here out on my green growing edge of unknowns. I'm elevating my capacities and capabilities, and expanding more of my gifts and talents. So everybody has their own alchemy of life, just like all the elements in the periodic table. And we all have our own artistry of that alchemy. And out on this beautiful Gaia Earth having the adventures. And again, what if we could all be in collaboration of that and bringing that together? And so that's really the elements behind those 3 words. Yeah. And putting the 3 together is, let's bring our own alchemy, let's bring our own artistry and our own adventures to help everybody explore, elevate, and expand their life in full expression.
So how do we achieve living our best and full lives with all this suffering and uncertainty that we see going on in our world?
Yeah.
It's almost like you're paddling upstream because there's all this other chaos going on in the world, and like you can't even live your best life because there's all these things coming at you.
Yeah, that's the best time to go inside ourselves. If we think about a submarine at the depths of the ocean, they're not feeling the storm and the waves and all the weather above the sea and the ocean. And so just like you going into Death Valley and me going into the Temescal event, that I think there's always going to be some kind of uncertainty around us. Yeah. And if we put our attention and our focus on the uncertainty by quantum physics and the laws of the universe, we're just going to expand that. But if we go in and allow ourselves to know that there's the power of 1,000 suns in us, that we're more than that uncertainty, and we listen to that still, small, quiet voice inside of us, that we can be bigger than the uncertainty at any moment in time. It's just by choice.
I know there's influential women that you'd love to be collaborating with in the world too, and serving and elevating their greatness. Tell us about that.
Yeah, I'm here from the Pacific Northwest, and I'm sure most people in the world listening to this program know Melinda French Gates, and she has moved into doing some even more extraordinary things from the Gates Foundation, and that's one woman that I would love to collaborate with, of lives in full expression. She's already doing that in many elements, and then just the Virgin Unite group with Sir Richard Branson. They're doing amazing work for the globe, and would love to work with that as well. You can just see that, like, Melinda's working with people, and the Virgin group is working more with, providing health for the earth. And then a friend of mine just told me about a recent documentary that Hillary Clinton and her daughter just started called Gutsy. And
oh yeah, I heard about that.
Yeah, I haven't watched a lot of it yet, but really I love to be part of women that are out there on their green growing edge doing gutsy things, and like play in the universe. There's no limits, so that we can really help and serve the people of the world.
What kind of legacy would you love to sort of ignite and inspire and influence in others?
Yeah, well, it comes back to them living their most authentic life, that, as I take my last breath on this earth, that I know that I've planted a seed through Platinum Life University that is bringing real wisdom to real people, and that we are a people that can collaborate rather than fight with one another about our differences, but that we actually celebrate the diversities that we have, just like our earth does.
Right.
The earth has an incredible, diverse ecosystem, and without it, it wouldn't be healthy. And so that's really my intention, is that I would leave a legacy of collaboration and love and light and authenticity.
You mentioned fun too. What's a super fun thing that you would love to do, but you haven't done yet?
I haven't done yet. I'm so glad you asked that question. It's kite surfing.
Kite surfing, wow.
Yeah, I haven't kite surfed yet. I've
on the water.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I snow ski and do all.
Have you boogie boarded?
I've boogie boarded.
Yeah.
I've surfed. And
Where was the first place you boogie boarded? Do you remember?
Hawaii.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah.
Mine was San Diego.
Oh.
And it was the first time I was doing it. We were right out of college, and we went to California for the month, my colleague roommate and I, because his sister and her husband were stationed in San Diego. So we were able to stay in the housing. It was really cool. We went all through California. And they said, boogie boarding. I said, what's boogie boarding? What the heck's that? And it was really cool. And the very first time that I did it, the Pacific, can be rough. And so I'm going and sailing along nicely, but then there was a wave behind us that we didn't realize. So we're riding one wave, and there's another wave, bigger, coming by. Boom! Brought us all under. I got pulled all the way down to the bottom. I actually hit my head on the bottom.
Whoa.
I never clinged so tight to something in my life as that boogie board, because I knew by clinging to it, it was going to bring me back up.
Oh, good call.
Because they're so light, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's just going to force me straight up. And I think I did come popping up out of the water like a geyser. But that was the very first experience, and it was fantastic. Wow. It was really amazing to experience that. And life is that way. If you hang on, you will pop back up.
I love that illustration. Yeah.
Boogie board.
Yeah, boogie boarding. Well, I was just down in the Columbia Gorge watching a bunch of kite surfers. Yeah, watching them elevate. They would go like 20, 30 feet in the air and then come back down.
Isn't that incredible?
Oh my gosh.
I love watching the surfers where it's like they're on 90-foot waves in Hawaii or wherever, and they just take it like it's nothing. That's just...
Yeah, I was more on 6-foot waves. Yeah. In Hawaii. Not those big ones, yeah.
That's it. Just off the beach where the hotel is and the Mai Tais. And
exactly. So one of these days I'll be kite surfing in some tropical place.
Cool,
yeah.
speaking engagements. You talked about that. Are you doing any currently now?
Not right now, but I do have a weekly podcast on Transformation Talk Radio. It's called Life in Full Expression with Beth Wolfe. And I actually go through the matrix of exploring, elevating, and expanding in the 7 dimensions. And so people can join me there noon Pacific Standard Time on transformationtalkradio.com and really help elevate and expand and explore their lives.
What are some other things that you haven't done yet, either in your life or for your business, that you would like to do in the future? Some of those bucket list things for Beth.
Yeah, well, I would love to be keynote speaker for companies. I really feel that I can really help people inspire. That would be one thing. And I also love to help charitable events. So we have a really cool one back in my hometown called Coffee Oasis that really helps youth in need. They're kind of in that transition from high school into adulthood. And it's a great, it's just a great ministry that we have in our area. Yeah. And I'd love to help more with that. And, but yeah, I'm just looking forward to igniting the university more and keynote speaking and traveling and being out there in the world, collaborating with amazing women doing amazing things.
What are some of the blessings and joys in your life that inspire you to continue to do this work, inspiring others, showing others how they can heal and how they can live satisfied, fulfilled lives?
Oof, that's a good question.
There was a reason why I'm here.
I know. There's the good questions. I don't think there's a greater joy to have than to see someone transform their life. There's just, when they can say to you that my life is better now, I love myself more, I'm enjoying life more, I'm doing more, I love where I live, I love my relationship with whether husband, wife, partner, I'm really enjoying my career, my health is amazing. When all of those things come back to me, that's what's so extraordinary, a blessing to me as far as life coaching and stuff like that.
What would you say to somebody who's watching this right now, who perhaps they're going through something really rough and tough, and they don't see a light at the end of the tunnel, and they just see darkness? What would you say to them watching to inspire them, to let them know that there is a way through and there is a way out?
Yeah. Darkness is almost the beginning of all the possibilities. It really is. I wouldn't be scared of it. I would definitely seek out a mentor, whether it's a counselor or mentor or life coach. But I wouldn't be scared of it. Just like I went in that Thomas Gall and everything was closed in and there was no light. It didn't serve me to open my eyes and try to figure something out with my mind. It's a great opportunity for you to go deep and really know who you truly are. And it's a great opportunity to love yourself. That's it right there. Is the darkness is almost like a call from your soul that it's time to love yourself. So, and it's okay to be a little bit of afraid, but know that you're not alone. I've definitely been there, and have the courage to take that step and to either call someone and say, I want to take this step to really love myself for the first time.
Why do you love doing this work so much, Beth?
I love people. I really, really love people. I think they're extraordinary. I know that there's a lot of icky actions from people.
Right.
A lot of icky.
Yeah.
I mean, I get it. There's murder and there's stuff that's beyond that. One of my mentors taught me that we are either calling out for love or expressing love. And sometimes we do it really, really unskillfully. And when people are unskillfully crying out for love, then icky things happen.
Yeah.
They do. And so ultimately, if we know that really it comes down to loving them. And there's just nothing better than loving people. I can recall a quick story.
And yourself.
Yeah, that's the key
There's
point.
been a theme to this.
It has been that I was on a trip in the Dominican Republic. I actually took my 14-year-old daughter to the Dominican, and she went to orphanages and taught them how to charcoal sketch and watercolor.
That's incredible.
Yeah, she was the teacher. I was her assistant.
Yeah.
She's an extraordinary young woman. And I remember we were going around and touring, and I met this man that was actually an owner of a brothel. And we were asking him, why do you keep doing this? This is icky.
Yeah.
This is really icky. And he said, I would love to not do it. I would love another way to make money for my family and feed my family. And you're just like, this man doesn't even want to be doing that.
Right.
And if he was shown another way to make food, to put food on the table for his family, and he even asked, he goes, could you show me? Could you show me another way that I could do it in this poverty area in the Dominican? And, at that time my answer was like, well, no. But, oh my gosh, my heart went out to that man at that moment.
Yeah.
And he was crying out for love, not only for himself, but for his family too. So I just love people.
Yeah.
There's a divine greatness in every single one of us.
There is, right?
If we'll look for it.
If we look for it.
Yeah.
And we let it rise to the surface and we share it with the world.
Yeah, it's in us.
Which is the key, right?
Mm-hmm. It is. It is. It's always there.
I knew we would have an amazing conversation when you came to the TV studio. This was fantastic. Anything that you want to continue to share before we wrap our fabulous conversation?
Oh, I just love being here, and I just want to encourage people to be exploring, elevating, and expanding themselves. You'll feel so good to step into that kind of courage and of self-love.
Right,
So it's been a privilege being here. I've had so much fun.
That was a pleasure,
oh my
wasn't
God, it's really fun. I love it.
You can check this off your bucket list.
Yes, next thing up. Yeah, that's for sure. Well, thanks for being on my bucket list.
I appreciate it, especially on my birthday week.
I know. Happy birthday
Thank
to
you very much.
Yeah, I could come over and I'll slice the cake and serve it to you instead of you doing
Absolutely. That's right. Instead of me serving
Exactly,
it to everybody else.
exactly.
I get a half a piece now.
Yeah, exactly.
Beth, you're the best. Thanks for everything, and continued success and joy in your life and all the incredible work you're doing, inspiring others in such a deep and profound and long-lasting way.
Yeah. Thanks so much, Jim. It was a pleasure being here.
We'll see you again soon.
All right. Take care.
If you'd like to learn more and connect with Beth Wolfe, visit her website, bethwolfe.com. For Close-Up Television and Radio, I'm Jim Masters. Thanks for joining us, and we'll see you again next time.